Good morning, folks. Just thought I'd go live for a wee hour or so just to see how we got on with a live stream here on YouTube. Obviously, I did my first live stream on TikTok the other day, so I just wanted to make sure it was okay. So let's have a wee chuck and a wee chat. I'm trying to actually teach myself how to stack a set of darts, hence why I'm using this setup that I've got. I like the consistent angle of entry I'm getting with them. They're relatively flat in comparison to the way my darts usually stand up, which is standing up. Hello Patrick, how you doing? Hope you're well. Welcome in. That was unlucky. As I've said, I'm just in for a wee chuck and a chat, just to get a feel for YouTube Live, see how we got on with it in terms of viewers and stuff like that. But I hope everybody's having a great morning so far. If you've got any questions or you want to talk about it, put it in the chat. Now, my favourite player, Patrick, as you've mentioned it, is the one and only Phil the Power Taylor. Obviously, no longer plays. He's pretty much retired, but I think if you were to ask anyone, the general consensus would be Phil Taylor, unless you've only started playing in the past 2 years. But the whole idea of me going live today is just for a wee bit of a chuck, trying to teach myself how to stack with this setup. There's some days where it's going not too bad, and there's other days where it's an absolute failure. But it is what it is. I'm just here to have a laugh, chuck some darts, answer any questions you may have. Doesn't matter about the quality opinion. So I'll go live for about an hour and see what happens. The only difficult thing I've found about this setup is if your throw is not on point, it can be very unforgiving. A bit like Phil Taylor's setup. Nice wee turn there. But thank you to those of you who have jumped in so far. It is really appreciated. As I said, if any of you have any questions, don't feel shy, ask away. Obviously, I know the stream probably isn't as quality as some as you've seen, but bear in mind, everything I do here on the Scottish Live Darts channel is done via my mobile. I don't use laptops, I don't use fancy editing software. It's all done via my mobile phone. That was unlucky for Moa. Anybody got any ideas for content and stuff you want me to do, or let me know your thoughts on last night's Premier League? Personally, I think Aspinall was a wee bit unlucky, especially against Luke Littler, because Luke Littler was not his usual self last night. For the next live stream, hopefully, if this one's obviously decent enough, once I rewatch it back to see what the quality's like, I'll maybe propose getting games with people set up for the next one. Right, well, we do have a few checkouts. Maybe somebody give me a wee checkout to try in the chat. So I've got, obviously, my darts here ready to go. Just, I'll throw some on until somebody's giving me a checkout to try and do. Right, so Patrick wants me to try a 90 checkout. Let's give it a go. 72. We'll try again. Because of where the camera's positioned, it does kind of block off the 18s. So I'll just go 20s. Right, Vinny, there's, if I could only have the one board, I've tried the Tor. It's a nice enough board, but honestly, this unicorn board is brilliant. If you can get away with the cosmetics of the wires get chipped because they're black painted, I'd definitely say this would be the board to have. Even the likes of the 180 Gladiator Pro board is a great board as well, but if I had to pick between the Tor and the Unicorn, I'm picking the Unicorn every day of the week. There's your 90 checkout, Patrick. 90 on the bull. Nice wee 140. I'm trying to get some people in here, so I'm just going to share it on Facebook on my other device. Shared to a few places, so hopefully we can get a few more people in here. Definitely the Eclipse Pro Ultra, Vinny, it is, I'd say it's better than the Tor. Now, there was a time where I would say it was the Winmau Blade 6 triple core was the best board, but I find compared to the first board I had from Winmau, which was the Blade 6 when it first came out, and compared to the latest one I had, there was a complete difference in quality. The first one was, you could probably call it the perfect board, but then at the same time, compared to the new one was battered within 6 months, and it was being a triple core as well. Text Titan board. Are they from the US, I take it? I'm certainly willing to give them a go if I can get it for here in the UK. That's the only issue I'm finding when I'm trying to stack with these darts is the amount of bounce outs I'm getting bouncing off the flight is unbelievable. But what I will say is these Cosmo flights are very durable. Obviously I've used Cosmo before, but I've had these on for about a week and there's very little damage to them. Australia? Right, okay. I will look into getting one sorted. We'll have a wee search after the stream. I'm only going to be live for about an hour. I just wanted to see how the live stream would go, if we'd get many in the chat, just to, as I called it, a chuck and a chat. So I was hoping to have a wee chuck and then chat every for the viewers. But what did we think of the Premier League last night, folks? Did we watch it? I did watch the majority of it, but the format for the Premier League is a bit stale for me personally. I'm not a fan of the new format. That, and it's seen the same faces every week on the Premier League. It's a pain. At least when it was the old style, they were bringing in wild cards and stuff, which made a hell of a difference. Look at the Premier League in Ireland when Willie O'Connor got brought him and they had that walk-on song. Probably one of the better moments of the Premier League. Feel free to share away, folks. Share it to your own social media platforms. Try and get some more people in here. Was with for Bull. Pretty poor darts for the Bull, but hey ho. When I rotated this board for the first time, I think it was 2 days ago now, just because I'd done the video on the 4-week wear assessment of the original 20, so I've rotated it, and there is a wee bit of chipping on the wires, but the wires are still intact. There's no visible side, no damage to the board, so 2 days worth of a couple hours use each day is actually not too bad in my opinion. Especially when I'm using. Alright, Charlie, how's it going, mate? I'm just having a wee bit of a chuck and a chat. I was just want to see how the live streams would work with YouTube. Obviously, I don't use laptops or computers or anything. That's literally just my mobile. So I wanted to see how it would look. So if anybody's got any questions or anything they want to discuss, just whack it in the chat and we'll have a wee discussion as chuck and a chat. Not playing very well today, but as I said, I'm trying to teach myself how to stack the data, so I'm using a setup I'm not normally comfortable with. I mean, granted, it's the same kind of length of stem I use normally, but it's the flight shape that's completely different. So ideally, I want my data to land like this, to be able to stack on top or underneath, so stack or understack. But if your throw is not on point, if you're slightly to the left, they're going to the left. I suppose you can say that about any dart. What I've also found as well is even with the tiny flights, I can actually group these a bit better. All right, Anthony Hitman, how you doing? I just thought I'd go live here on YouTube for a wee chuck and a chat. I do plan on going live on TikTok after this as well. And I'm trying to teach myself how to stack. It's no working out very well for me, but I'll persevere with it until I've figured out how to do it. Oh, were you out injured? I take it, That wasn't it. I didn't know you were injured or you were out for recover. It's a nice wee 125 there. Oh, sorry to hear that, mate. I honestly didn't know. Hope you're getting along a wee bit better with it. Oh. As I said, I'm sorry to hear that. But I'm hoping for the next live stream I can potentially get some games with folk. I mean, I'm not bothered about seeing screens or anything, so it's literally just going to be it'll be a chuck and a chat. I'll maybe play some live games on live darts or something like that, simply because it's free. Or if I ever get my hands on one of those Scolias, I'll maybe play some people in the Scolia. That's it, mate. I mean, with the amount of stuff that's happening in the world, there's a lot of people out there that are far worse off than us. We've got it cushy. We've got places to live. We've got plenty of food and water around us. There's other places that don't have anything like that. See, everybody's raving on about these Scolias. I've not actually got one. I've tried one, just not got my own. And then it's the same with the Omni. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, the Omni's this and that," but the amount of issues I've seen with the Omni as of late kind of put me off the idea. Anyway, somebody gave me a checkout to do. Patrick at the start gave me a 90 checkout, and we've done that with the 2020 bull. It must be the servers they're using or something like that, or their connection stuff. I don't know. I don't know much about the tech side of it, but it's going to be a common thing when it comes to the likes of your Omnis, your Scolias, getting all the new auto dart stuff that's at 95. That's what I wanted with the second dart. We'll try it once more. I'm going to give each checkout a maximum of 3 attempts. So I've got last attempt. Wish me luck. 1976. And if I was to come back, that would leave me tops. But I was asking him earlier, what do people think of the Premier League results last night? Personally, I think Aspinall was very unlucky. You could see his dartitis was bothering him towards the end of the game. I was glad to see Humphreys take it, to be fair. I was actually, I mean, Aspinall's obviously, he's already had some time off to try and take care of it, but he's still struggling really bad with it. You can tell just by some of his mannerisms on the stage and the way he's trying to force himself through it. It could potentially make it worse. Then obviously there was little annoying the crowd as well. I mean, everybody, he's moaning about how the crowd are turning against him and the crowd are doing this and that, and he doesn't like it, and then he goes and annoys them. He brings it on himself half the time. Aye. My only gripe with these tiny wee flights is if it bounces and deflects and lands down the way, it kind of blocks the entire bed. See, I'm getting there slowly with this stacking technique, but I also need to work on still being able to use the way I normally throw as well. I just feel it'd be beneficial to have both in my arsenal. Got a few sets to review as well coming up shortly. I have a couple of sets of Cosmo darts. Got these Cosmo Mickey Mansells, 25 gram, and the Cosmo Lee Zeng. Obviously, they'll get better looks at them when I do close-ups and stuff when I do the reviews. But Cosmo sent me these out, and I've got a lot of Cosmo stems and flights to review and give my opinion on. And I've also got these Winmau Skyvolts. They're very similar to the previous Qusol Robbie Green, no Qusol, Winmau Robbie Green. So it seems very, very similar in terms of the shape and grip style. See, kite flights are fantastic for travelling through the air quicker. I do enjoy a kite flight, but the only thing when I use kite flights is my darts tend to land upright. Obviously, the flights I'm using are very similar to kite. They're just a wee bit smaller and a wee bit longer, so there's more drag on them. So it pulls them back down to make them go flat, which makes them ideal to stack, really. Maybe a longer point in these is the only thing I'm missing, because I did stupidly order 26mm points rather than 30. Oh, honestly, mate, I'd look forward to seeing them, but the way Target have been with the pricing and stuff recently is a bit ridiculous, in my opinion. So I reckon if these Bo Greaves came out, they're going to be upwards of 80, 90 quid. I'm surprised Dart Shopper don't offer that yet. Or there's Helios Dart Supplies that may actually be able to customise kite ones. You'd maybe need to reach out and ask them. I know when I had custom mill style flights, it was standard shape, of course, but it was Helios that sorted them out. So I've got 3 new sets here to review. I'm going to need to start doing some live streams and stuff to get more interaction with you guys. I don't do it enough. Actually, if it's these flights, obviously, name the player who used them. There is a player that actually used these. Now retired, right enough, but he did use these with mega long points. And it's only 2 clues I'm giving you. Couldn't do that again if I tried. Oh, Helios are fantastic, mate. The way they print them and stuff is unreal. As I said, on here I'm only going to be live for about an hour. So I'll be live for another 30 minutes or so, so about 10:40 I plan on going off. Well, I've been on the data scene for, I think this is like my 4th year being on YouTube for doing data stuff. Obviously I was a darts fan before that, but through COVID and stuff, I kind of was watching the likes of Neil's Darts Review channel, Atomic Darts, and those were all channels I thought, if they can do it, maybe I could. So I started from there, and now I'm up with nearly 4,000, just over 4,000 subscribers, thousands of followers on Twitter, Facebook. People message me every day asking for tips and advice and stuff. But doing well with it. Was that quotes for your work, Anthony? Alright, right, mate, go on. The new Unicorn board is fantastic. I mean, I done a video, I think it was the start of this week or last week, about a 4-week assessment. The only issues I've got with it are the black paint and the wires wearing off. Other than that, it is absolutely perfect. I mean, the segment I'm on just now, there is a wee bit of chip wear on the wires already, but it's still holding strong. I've rotated it, obviously. But definitely the Unicorn Eclipse Ultra 2, I reckon it's going to be one of the best boards in the market. It's going to be quite high up there in comparison to the Target Tor and the Blade 6 Triple Core. Those are the kind of best two, people would say. It's definitely better than the old Unicorn board, the Unicorn Eclipse Ultra, the original Ultra. I found that very soft, and there was issues with the bills and stuff like that. See, everybody keeps saying I need to get one of the Precise 180 boards. They do look great. I do like the number rings as well. The fact that they've got many different colours of the number rings. But then the amount of new brands that are popping up is unbelievable. I mean, there's Odin darts. It's not long opened up. Obviously, Loxley are coming back a wee bit stronger than what they have been recently. Harrows are picking up the pace a wee bit with their social media kind of stuff. So it's great to see that the darts community is growing. It's great to have been a part of it. See, I keep looking at them myself to get one, just to change on this. I like the number ring on this because it's big and bold, but I want something a bit different. You know me, I like unique. So we try a different dart, eh? We'll see. You'd think, obviously, Phil Taylor being the ultimate stacker, that a Phil Taylor dart with his setup, you'd be able to stack them. Now, I've got the Phil Taylor Generation 3 here. And for the life of me, I can't get them to land flat. They land upright, which usually when I use a standard flight happens. And obviously, oh, there's a flat one. I don't know how Phil, I don't understand how Phil the Power Taylor can do it, make his darts land flat or land down the way. It's very impressive skill that he learned over the years. But these right here are the best Phil Taylor darts in my opinion. The Generation 3, so it's the silica ones. You'll not be able to see them very well, obviously. But the silica ones, it's a pity Target discontinued them. I'm going to be live for another 25 minutes. And then we'll jump off. Maybe go live on the old TikTok. $100. And as you know, there's 11 generations of Taylors. I've got all 11 and the Match Play edition. No, the Match Play, the World Championship Legacy edition. So all of them are great. My favourite is the Gen 3, as I've said. I've reviewed them all on my channel. And I paid out for every single set of them. I didn't get any of the Taylors for free. That's actually another thing I'd like to cover. It's not every brand will send me or any of the other content creators stuff for free. It's very limited. I mean, I've had stuff for free from Mission, Loxley, Winmore, Red Dragon. That is it. I haven't had anything free from anything else. So all the Target reviews, in fact, Unicorn, I've had some stuff from Unicorn. So as you can imagine, I've done a lot of Harrows, I've done a lot of Target. I actually think I've done more Target than anything else. And I've had to put my hand in my pocket for that. So it's just, I know a lot of people often say, oh, but you got all that stuff for free. So, Ken, why, giving it away and stuff like that? There's quite a lot of it we've actually paid for. And the stuff that I have been given for free, I'll usually send it away to an academy, or I'll give it away, or I'll try and obviously sell it to refund into the channel. Because without all the... No problem at all, Anthony, mate. Oh, definitely, Ryan. There's no. I don't care who argues with me about it. The Generation 3 are the best Phil Taylor tat. It's the fact that they're not a bomber. Well, they are a bomber, but they're not. They're a Fallon Sherrick style. So they're like a torpedo shape rather than a bomber. Which is absolutely fantastic, of course. But thanks to everybody who's in the chat so far. Honestly, it's greatly appreciated. My first, well, technically it's not my first live on live stream, but it's my first live on YouTube, something like this kind of situation. And I seem to be doing okay. So maybe try and do it more often. So I'm only, as I said at the start of the stream, I've said a couple of times through, I'm only going to be live until 10:40. And that's simply because I do have a few things I need to do today, and I just wanted to get a feel of how it would be live streaming on my phone, like to see what the quality would be like, the sound quality, the picture quality, and stuff like that. Because I don't use. I have actually used a set of the Optimum darts from Darts Performance. They're a lovely dart. Quite a lot of the darts that have come out from Performance darts are actually fantastic, to be fair. I mean, all these smaller brands, I'd say some of these smaller brands do some far superior products than most of the other brands. Look at the likes of Designer on Darts Corner. Granted, the lineup isn't as big as what it used to be, but Designer darts were fantastic for the price. The quality was always bang on. So what's everybody's favourite darts manufacturer or darts brand? That's probably a difficult one to answer because there is so many good ones these days. Morning, Steel, how you doing? Just a wee bit of a morning chucking chat. I've been on for about 40 minutes. I'll be on for another 20 or so. It was just for a wee chucking a chat. Try to teach myself how to stack with this Cosmos stem flight setup. I'm getting there with it, but they are very unforgiving. If your throw is even slightly off, the darts are going to deflect away. You can't go wrong with Red Dragon, mate. Which ones did you go for? I'm going to go for a couple of checkouts again. So let's go for an 82. Way into the ring double. First dart was perfect. Hey, the Javelin are fantastic, mate. Honestly, they're cheap, they're cheerful, decent amount of grip, and they do the job. I've got a set of Javelins myself. Right. 97 checkout, shall we? Aye. And granted, I'm not playing very well with this damn flight setup, but they are very hard to try and master. Try to get that into the left there. Aye. It's great to see that all these young guys are getting into the darts now, obviously. Predominantly thanks to the likes of Luke Littler coming in. It's great for the sport. It gets everyone involved. And plus, with the amount of new darts content creators or influencers, as people are calling them, it's great because it gives us a wee bit of competition in our content. It makes us all strive to become better. But at the same time, it seems to be the content creators, obviously they all do their own thing, but they're only in it for themselves. I mean, I've always tried to help out as many of the creators as I can, as well as obviously some of the new things coming out, like the Digital Darts Online. It's a place to play online darts. There is free leagues on, there's paid leagues coming soon. It's all done through the Digital Darts website, the digitaldartsonline.com, I believe it is. If not, I'll put a link in the comments after the stream if you want to go and have a look at it. But the guy who runs it, Ricky, is fabulous fella. Does a great job, and they've just been sponsored by Winmo. Which is fantastic news, because you get the likes of In the Mud, who have just signed with Target not long ago. They've got Throwdown Darts that are Target affiliated, Amateur Darts League that are Unicorn affiliated. It's great to see all these people that I've watched grow from the start get a lot bigger. As I said at the start, folks, I'm just in for a wee chat, talk everything darts if we can. If you've any questions or you need any advice. Granted, I'm probably not qualified to give you advice, but if I've got my own opinion on it, I'll give you it. If you obviously want to give it a go or not, it's up to yourself. Thanks for the likes on the stream as well, guys. I mean, it's appreciated. It is my first live stream, so I wasn't expecting anything huge. Just expecting, obviously, a few people to come in and say hello. It wasn't as well advertised as what I usually would either, so as I said at the start, it was just to test how the picture quality was going to look, test how the sound quality was going to be, and then just generally have a wee chat with you guys. Next time I'll be a bit more prepared. I'll maybe get live darts on the go. We can play some online games. Next time I'll maybe go through my practice routine live on YouTube, sorry. I suppose I could try and talk you one through just now. It's very basic, it's very simple. I call it tons and checkouts and tons, or tons and checkouts. So you can start off with whatever you want. Generally, I start at 61 because these two dart combos should really be your bread and butter. So you start off with 61. Obviously, that's not the 99, but if you hit the 61, you move on to a ton. So that was just to give you an example. So you do your ton next. Like so. Then you go to 62, ton, 63. It doesn't need to be bang on a ton as long as it's over 100. It's a great way to practice both your power scoring And your checkouts, you're switching around the board. It was 62, wasn't it? That was going to be a wee bit of an issue there. Oh, I dropped my dart. Right. Tops left of the 62. There we go. There's a 62. So you go back onto the turn there. And you go on and you go on. But if anybody's got anything what you ask, just ask away. Obviously, things like warm-ups, you could warm up on the bull. Well, if you've not thrown a dart and you're very cold, just do a few minutes on the bull, it gets the arm going. And once you start hitting the bull, you know your throw's on point. So there's plenty you can actually do to get yourself warmed up to play a game of darts. Don't just always go 20s. Because if you're just going for 20s all the time and you can consistently hit triple 20s, fair dues. But if you can't hit a double, the doubles are the most important part of the game. What I'm going to do now, folks, is I think I'm actually going to call it a stream there. Thanks everybody who's come in and watched so far. It is honestly so appreciated. I wasn't expecting much more than who's come in, to be honest with you, considering I didn't advertise it enough. But thanks everybody for taking the time to come in and watch. Stay safe out there, everybody. And of course, keep on darting.